Just over 3 years ago, I reviewed Interstellar on my main channel. I had made a review that was based purely on my first viewing of the movie, and my opinion of it was generally negative. I watched it for only the second time last week, and it's amazing what a second viewing can do for your appraisal of a film. Originally, I had thought the first hour was a drag, but oddly enough, not this time. Elements of the movie I'd found cliched didn't bother me as much, and generally, I appreciated the attention to scientific accuracy far more this time. So a brief summary of the story. Earth is dying, crop blights and dust storms are rife, and former NASA pilot Joseph Cooper, played by Matthew McConaughey, is now a farmer and father of two. He encourages his daughter Murphy's natural curiosity and interest in science, but when they detect gravitational anomalies in their house, specifically her bedroom, some odd dust patterns on the floor, when interpreted as geographic locations, lead them to discover NASA's new HQ. Cooper's old supervisor, Professor Brand, tells them a wormhole near Saturn leads to another galaxy and 3 new planets potentially viable for human colonization. A series of exploratory missions were already undertaken secretly by scientists Miller, Edmonds, and Mann. Confusingly in the story, the planets are named after them. Anyway, Plan A is to develop a new gravitational propulsion theory allowing humanity to escape en masse and inhabit one of these worlds. And Plan B is to simply launch the Endurance spacecraft and populate the worlds with human embryos frozen in storage. Cooper will be on a team that includes Brand's daughter, played by Anne Hathaway, but first, he has to break the news to his daughter, which doesn't go over too well. Not only will the mission take 2 years just to reach Saturn, in which suspended animation will be needed by the crew, but also the new solar system in question, just beyond the wormhole, is home to a massive black hole called Gargantua. This black hole distorts space-time, causing massive time dilation, so much so that time will pass much faster on Earth. In other words, Cooper could one day return to find that he may be the same age as his daughter, or worse, she could be a lot older than him. So Cooper and his crew travel across the galaxy, and the first world they encounter is basically one giant ocean that's heavily affected by time dilation, so much so that after a catastrophic rescue attempt, 23 years pass by the time the crew is reunited with Romilly on the Endurance orbital spacecraft, but for them it's only been a few hours. Things get even worse when they visit Mann's planet, Mann played by Matt Damon. He goes postal, having falsified his data and lied to them about the viability of the planet. He just wanted to be rescued. Well, he kills Romilly, tries to kill Cooper, and then severely damages the Endurance in a reckless docking procedure. Now, I'm obviously skimming over the finer plot points because one thing that I'd forgotten about this movie is just the sheer amount of heavy exposition throughout. Back on Earth, time is moving much faster, obviously. Murphy has been working with Dr. Brand, but discovers that Plan A was only ever a lie, a ruse to get Cooper to agree to the mission. Despite this, Murphy continues to work on the solution while Earth becomes increasingly less livable. Apparently, Plan A is only possible if the crew can make observations of gravitational singularities in the black hole, perhaps the second most contrived element of the story. After a successful slingshot around Gargantua that allows young Brand to land on the final world, Edmonds, Cooper sacrifices himself along with one of the mission robots and attempts to head straight into the black hole. What follows next is a conclusion that's even more cheesy and eye-rollingly hokey than the ending of Contact. Cooper finds himself in a multi-dimensional tesseract apparently created by alien beings, but was actually created by future humans. Now, apparently, these future humans not only created the strange gravitational anomalies, but also formed the stable wormhole out near Saturn. Within this tesseract, Cooper finds that the entire thing is basically comprised of moments from his daughter's past in her bedroom, and he's the one who sent the anomalies into the past through gravitational fluctuations. He even sends her a Morse code message into a watch for her to figure out the equations necessary for Plan A to be completed. This is the most contrived and just face-palmingly dumb conclusion of a movie I've seen in years. The film is desperately trying to seem smarter than it actually is. Somehow Cooper sends an equation back in time into the second hands of a watch and also somehow makes bits of dust on the floor appear like coordinates. What? In the end, Cooper is ejected from the Tesseract and picked up by a massive space station in the future, which includes a recreation of his home. He is reunited with his extremely old daughter Murph on her deathbed, and then heads out to find Brand on Edmonds. All the while not once asking anything about his son, not once, doesn't seem to give a shit about him or what happened to him. Just his daughter. It's like a gigantic writing flaw in the film. As you can see, I still have massive problems with this movie, and Anne Hathaway's totally unnecessary romantic connection with Edmonds, a man who was already dead and we never meet in the film, is just pointless and confusing. That being said, I did enjoy the attempts at exploring the science elements and concepts presented. It's a very immersive film, aided by strong performances and an excellent, otherworldly, dramatic 2001-style musical score. But the convoluted bullshit about dust patterns on the floor and schmaltzy Hollywood ending in which love is some kind of powerful, unquantifiable force that traverses space and time, so much so that it allows for time travel back to Murph's bedroom, is just nauseating and really undermines the credibility and ambition of the more highbrow scientific elements being explored in the film. That said, my second viewing of Interstellar was at least more enjoyable than the first.